How's your weather?
Find out at weather.com/social.
Now you're local on the 8th.
A wind advisory is in effect for our area. Currently in our area, 47 degrees with showers. Here's our local Doppler radar. For tonight, windy with rain, heavy at times, low 46. Winds north-northeast at 25 to 35 miles per hour. Winds could occasionally gust over 40 miles per hour. And on Thursday, windy with periods of rain, high 48. Winds north-northwest at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Chance of rain 80%. Rainfall around a half an inch. And Thursday night, rain showers in the evening becoming more intermittent overnight. Low 41. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
How's your weather?
Find out at weather.com/social.
Right now on Day Planner, tracking wet weather, even storms, from the Midwest to the Northeast. Learn how much rain will fall and where you could see possible tornadoes.
Good afternoon from the lakefront here in Chicago. I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel, and it's more than the windy city. It's a stormy city this afternoon. We've already had some windows blown out of skyscrapers, and the winds will still increase through the evening hours. More coming up now on Day Planner.
And an October chill has taken over much of the South. We'll check the extended forecast to see how long all those cold temperatures will stick around. Well, there could be isolated to maybe a few scattered severe thunderstorms in parts of eastern North Carolina, Virginia, maybe as far north as Maryland, D.C., Delaware, and even southeast PA. We can't rule out an isolated tornado, although that threat level appears to be diminishing just a little bit. We go from the potential for an isolated tornado to the potential for some wicked winds across the Great Lakes. And we're extending this round of Day Planner to bring you up-to-the-minute coverage. I'm Jeff Morrow, and Vivian is tracking the very latest on the radar. Viv, what do you got?
I'll tell you what, Jeff, as we look at the radar from a national perspective, you pretty much see that all of the action is over the eastern half of the country. We're finding some stronger storms in Ohio. And notice how this line of storms is draped just south of Florida and across the western parts of Cuba. But most of these storms have at least moved away from the Sunshine State. Still looking at Miami, a little bit of light rain left over, but for the most part, that stormier weather that we had yesterday is out of here. We're watching some storms off the coast here of North Carolina, a little closer to the northern Outer Banks, so we'll continue to watch the radar for you here. And then notice how things have improved in the New York City area. I know it's still cloudy and overcast, but for the most part, all of that rain has moved well to your north. We're finding some rain pushing through the Boston area as we speak, and then kind of pulled back across parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, and upstate New York. And with the area of low pressure spiraling across the Ohio Valley, it is wet, it is windy, and big problems we've had around Chicago. Right, Jeff?
Oh, we definitely have. Windows being blown out of buildings, and that Lake Michigan really kicked up. Wicked winds are in the forecast for Chicago right on through tonight. At times, they could gust near the ground up over 40, 45 miles an hour. And up there at skyscraper level, yeah, it could be over 60 miles an hour. So let's go live now to Chicago. Meteorologist Mike Seidel looking a little grim there. Is the sun trying to peek out, Mike? It looks a little brighter behind you.
That's just my normal glow when I come out in stormy weather, Mr. Morrow. No, there is no breaks in the overcast here. What we've got going is this windstorm. The low is back in Kentucky, but we've got a high to the north. That's the cold high and the pressure gradient. And the pressure is still dropping. It's going to do that overnight. And as we get into this tighter gradient of pressure, the winds will continue to increase through this evening and into the early hours of tomorrow morning. And that's why these winds continue to ramp up. They're sustained out about 40 miles an hour, right around tropical storm force with some higher gusts. Although we're not getting the kind of gusts we would with a tropical system at this point because we don't have any convective elements to mix down the stronger winds. So we've not seen any gust over 50 so far. Let's go to the radar first, and we'll show you what's going on behind me. And you can see the rain wrapping in around that storm down in the Kentucky, Ohio area. And so we're going to get rain through the evening and overnight into tomorrow morning. Some spots may get an inch of rain. The heavier rainfall amounts will be south and east of Chicago. But behind me, you see the impact this wind blowing across Lake Michigan. That wind energy is transferred into the wave action, and you can see the waves crashing into the Shed Aquarium seawall there up and over the bike path. And then in the skyline there, you can see the top of the Willis Tower, the former Sears Tower, is now shrouded in the stratus overcast. That's up around 1,300 feet at the top, so just over 1,000 feet. So very low overcast, a lot of wind, and it's going to be a long, noisy night for those folks who live at the higher altitudes here on the lakefront. This will all wind down, Jeff, later tomorrow. Weekend looks fine here, but getting through the next 18 hours or so, it's going to be windy weather, especially on the lakefront. Not quite as windy inland.
Yeah, better keep a good grip on the steering wheel. All right, Mike, let's take a look at the forecast now. We're going to go through the next 24 hours.